I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on providing you with solutions of GCSE test papers. So here is a test paper from the year 2018, May. I'll provide you with the solutions and also provide you with some links which can help you to do similar questions. If you have any queries, you can always send me the email on the address given here. Let's look into these questions. Now, the time required is 1 hour 30 minutes, which I think is fair enough. You should not be in any rush to solve this test paper. All these test papers give you a lot of time to solve. Now, this one is without calculator. Question number 1 here is to work out 2 1 over 7 plus 1 1 over 4. Now, when we are working with the mixed numbers, we have a combination of whole numbers. So I could write this as 2. See, let me rewrite the question first. 2 1 over 7 plus 1 1 over 4, right? So basically, we are adding these two whole numbers, which are 2 plus 1. And we are also adding the fraction part, which is 1 plus 7 and 1 plus 4, correct? So we get 3 wholes. And to do this portion, which is 1 over 7 plus 1 over 4, we'll take a common denominator. So 4 times 7 is 28. You can cross multiply. So you get 4 plus 7, right? So you get an equivalent fraction with denominator of 28. So that gives you 3 wholes, and 7 plus 4 is 11 over 28. So that is one solution, which I think is a neat solution for such a question, right? It takes minimum time. The other option is to write them as improper fractions, right? So we could also do it like this. 1 over 7 plus 1 1 over 4 could be written as 2 times 7 14 and 1 15 over 7 plus 5 over 4. Now again, we can take a common denominator of 28, right? So multiplying 15 by 4, 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times 1, 4 and 2, 6, right? Plus 35. And that could be written as 95 over 28, right? Now you could leave the answer in this form, or on the side, you could also do 95 divided by 28. Now you will get the same answer. If I do 3 times 8 is 24, 2. And then we get 8, and when you take away, you get 11. So your answer basically is 11 over 28. The idea of showing both the methods is to tell you that this is without calculator, right? So it is without calculator. So this is a far better method to do this simple calculation than the other one, right? Both are correct. Now let's look into the second question, which involves division, right? But whenever there is a division, it is always important to convert them to improper fractions. So this should be, first step should be convert to improper fractions. Follow the steps which we did as an alternate method, right? So we have 1 over 5 divided by 3 over 4, correct? So that gives you 5 plus 1, 6 over 5. Now division is as good as reciprocal multiplication, correct? At this stage, you could actually simplify and then multiply. So 3 goes 2 times with 6. And therefore, you could write this as 2 times 4, 8 over 5 as your answer. Now, since the question involved mixed numbers, it is a good idea to write this also as a mixed number. So we get 5 times 1 and remainder is 3. So that is your answer. Now these answers should be written in the space provided, correct? So we'll write here 1 3 over 5 or 8 over 5, correct? Similarly, in the previous case, we should have written our answer here, which will be 11 over 28. Clear? Let's move on and take the next question now. Question number 2. In a village, the number of houses and the number of flats are in the ratio of 7 to 4. The number of flats and the number of bungalows are in the ratio of 8 is to 5. There are 50 bungalows in the village. How many houses are there in the village? So we are given two different kinds of ratios. Let's say houses, we'll say H, flats as F, and B for bungalows, right? So these are the variables defined. So we have the ratio of houses to flats as 7 to 4, correct? And on the other side, we have a ratio of flats and bungalows. We have flats to bungalows as a ratio of 8 to 5. Right? Now, since we have to compare them, it's a good idea to match common things, right? So what we could do is we could match these numbers. So we could also write this ratio as, if I multiply this by 2, then I get 14 is to 8, and here we have 8 is to 5, correct? So in that case, clearly, we can write the ratio of house to flat to bungalows as 14 to 8 to 5, clear? So that becomes one ratio relating all the three. Now let's look into the condition given to us. That is 50 bungalows. So how do you get 50? So if I multiply this by 10, I get 50, right? So that means the ratio now becomes 10 times all this. So 140 is to 80 is to 50. Is that clear? This last part which we need to find is how many houses are there in the village. So H is for houses, and we found finally that there are 140 houses, correct? So we have the answer that there are 140 houses. Now, so let me just write down the answer at the end, and then we'll move on to the next page. Clear? The next question here, question number 3 is, Rennie buys 5 kg of sweets to sell. She pays 10 pounds for the sweets. Rennie puts all the sweets into bags. She puts 250 grams of sweets into each bag and sells each bag of sweet for 65 pence. Rennie sells all the bags of the sweets. Work out her percentage profit, right? So we need to find what is percentage profit. So percentage profit is equal to, you have to find the revenue, right? So first is the profit, right? So profit basically is revenue minus cost, right? Divided by, always the percentage of profit will be on the cost. Cost times 100. Good? So that is how you're going to find the percentage profit. Now cost is given to us. In our case, we know that the cost is equals to 10 pounds. So we know the cost. We need to find the revenue. How do we find revenue? Okay, let's see. Now, from the given condition, Rennie puts all the sweets into bags. She puts 250 grams of sweets into each bag, right? So basically, we have to first find number of bags. So we have 5 kg divided by 250 grams. Now 5 kg means 5,000 grams divided by 250 grams. Correct? So grams and grams cancel, and we get 4 times 5 as 20 bags. Right? So this is so many kgs, and this is store. So each bag contains 250 grams. So there are 20 bags in which we can put 5 kg. Right? So we got number of bags. Now, we are also given here, she sells each bag for 65 pence, right? So revenue is equal to 0.65 times 20, right? So when you multiply, just double this, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12 and 1 13. Since there is a decimal right here, and we have one more 0 here because 20, right? So you have to put decimal after 2 places to get 13 pounds. So the revenue here is 13 pounds, right? So we have revenue as 13 pounds. Now we can, let me write. Now we can find the percentage profit, right? So let's substitute these values back into our equation and calculate the answer. Okay. So we have percentage profit as equal to revenue of 13 minus cost of 10 divided by the cost of 10 times 100. Clear? So that 10 cancels and we have 3 times 10, which is 30%. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to solve this question. And here at the end, we are going to write 30%. Percent is already mentioned. Is that clear? So that is how we are going to solve this. So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Let's move on and take question number 4. Question number 4. A cycle race across America is 3069.25 miles in length. One knows his average speed for his previous races is 15.12 miles per hour. For the next race across America, he will cycle for 8 hours per day. A. Estimate how many days one will take to complete the race. So the important thing here is that we need to estimate, right? So don't find the exact value. To estimate, we should actually round all the numbers, right? So first thing is round the numbers. So let's begin with the kilometers or miles of the race. It is 3069, so we can say distance to be covered is approximately equal to 3000 miles, right? We are given the average speed, which is 15.12. We'll write this as 15 miles per hour, right? Okay, we are also given that the race is 8 hours per day, right? We are doing 8 hours per day. And what do we need to estimate? How many days will it take to complete the race? Now we need to find the number of days, that is time. Now, as you know, distance, speed, time is related. We can always write this relation in the form of this shortcut method. Distance is speed into time, and time is distance over speed. So time taken will be how much? That's what we need to figure out, right? So we can say time, which is distance over speed, can be written as 3000 miles over 15 miles per hour, right? So we get our time in hours, correct? So that miles and miles cancel, and we can actually divide both by 5. So we get 5 times, let's divide first by 3. So we get 5 here, and this is 1000, correct? And now we can divide by 5, so we get 200. So this could be written as 200 per hour, means hours goes in the numerator. Now we actually want to find how many days. So we want to write down number of days. So the number of days will be, so we have 200 hours, and every day we're running for 8 hours. So divided by 8 hours per day. Is that clear? So dividing by 8, if we divide by 4, we can divide directly also. Dividing by 8, 8 times 2 is 16 and 5, 25. Correct? So we get 25 days. So that is the estimate, right? So we can write here our estimate as 25 days. Now let's look into the second part of this question, which says, one trains for the race, the average speed he can cycle is at increases. It is now 16.27 miles per hour, and the question is, how does this affect your answer in part A? So that basically means, let me write the part B answer in this space, right? Okay, so we're writing the answer here. It should be actually right at the bottom, right? But I'll put it here. Now, what we understand is that increased speed implies lesser time, right? Or decrease in time, right? Now in this case, we were taking 25. Now you can see that the speed increases from 15 to 16 miles per hour, right? So it is approximately, you can say, increased by, you can say, less than 10%, right? So 10% is 1.5. This is 1 point. This is just 1, right? So around 8% increase, right? So that means we have 8% less time. That is true, right? So earlier we were doing 25 days, right? So instead of 25 days, it will be 25 into 8% less. So you can say, let's say, if you decrease by 10%, it is 2 less, right? So times, you can say, 0.92, right? So that will give you 92% of this, right? You understand? So that is what it is. So approximately, we can actually multiply by 9 with 2 decimals. 9 times 5 is 45, 4. 9 times 2 is 18, and 4, 22, right? So we can say estimate 23 days. You're getting my point, right? So we say less by 8%, that means 92% of 25 days, right? So this really means 92% of 25 days, which we said 90% to be approximate, and then we got the value as around 23 days. So how does this affect your answer in part A? Clearly, the distance will be covered faster, so lesser time, by almost 2 days. Right? So that is how you could actually answer this question. I hope the concept is absolutely clear. So this is an excellent question based on the estimates, right? Now let's look into question number 5. Here is a solid square based pyramid, VABCD. So that's the vertex, and ABCD is the base. Let's look into the question now. It says, the base of the pyramid is a square of side 6 centimeters. That means all these sides are 6 centimeters. The height of the pyramid is 4. So this height from here to here is 4 units. M is the midpoint. So this is equal to that part of BC, and VM is 5 centimeters. So VM, the height of this slant height is 5 centimeters. Part A is draw an accurate front elevation of the pyramid from the direction of the arrow. So we need to draw the front elevations. So from the front, we are only going to see this big triangle, right? So in this case, the triangle will be having a length of or base of 6 units and height of 4 units, right? So that is what will be your front. So let's draw this. So let's say if I take this as my top, let's go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to the base. and 6 units. That means 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side. So that gives you 6 units of base. Joining this, we get our front view. Is that clear? Well, all these answers should be in black, right? So you should be sketching all this in black. So you can actually draw it like this. Where this is 6 units, we'll assume this to be centimeters, and this height is 4 centimeters. Clear? So that is how we are going to get the front view. Let's move on and see part B. Work out the total surface area of the pyramid. So now we need to find surface area of this pyramid. So surface area means we have 4 triangles and we have 1 square. So square is the base and triangle are the faces, right? So 4 triangles 4 times, area of each triangle will be, so we are looking into these triangles. So in different inks, I'm putting things only for explanation here, right? So half base into height. So the area will be half of base is 6, right? Times 6, and height for this particular triangle is 5 units. So that becomes your area of 4 triangles. So we can just cancel this 2. And 6 times 5 is 30 plus 2 is 60 centimeters square. Clear? Square base 6 times 6. 6 times 6, which is 36. And total, we can just add them up. Okay? So we are just going to add them up. We get 96 centimeters square. That becomes our answer. We have used the formula that area of triangle equals to half base times height, and area of square equals to side square. Correct? So we know side is 6, we know base is 6, and height is 5. Perfect. And that's how we get it. So I hope the steps are clear. Let's move on and take the next question, which is question number 6. Question here is, a pattern is made from 4 identical squares. The sides of the squares are parallel to the axis, right? So this side, for example, will be parallel to this axis. That will be parallel to the y-axis. The question is, point A has coordinates 6, 7, as shown here. Point B has the coordinate 38, 36, right? Point C is marked on the diagram. Work out the coordinates of point C. So we need to find the coordinates of point C. We need to find the x and y value of this coordinate. That is the question. Now let's see how to answer this question. Okay. Now, as far as the width is concerned, it is constantly moving by, let's say the sides are x units, right? So this is x and this is also x. So we have, let's go horizontally. We have 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, right? So as far as this point is concerned, here x should be equal to, now here we have 6, right? 6 plus 4x. That is the value of x, right? Let me write this as a, for example, right? So let's write a instead of x. Okay. So we could write this point as the x coordinate as 6 plus 4a, where a is the side length, right? So let's say a is each side of our square. Correct? So we know 6 plus 4 times a is equal to 38. So 4 times a is 38 minus 6, which is 32. So A is 32 divided by 4, which is 8. That means the square is 8 units, right? So both these sides are 8 units. Is that clear? Right. So we find that the length is 8. Now, we need to find the y coordinate. We know now the x value, right? So x value is 6 plus 32, which we know, right? Okay. We can find the x value of this point clearly. So we have now 6 plus 1 8 and 2 8, right? So 2 times 8, we get the x value. So 2 times 8 is 16. So we get this value as 6 plus 16, which is 22. Clear? So that is the x value, right? Now let's work out the y value. So as you can see, we are going down from this 36, 8, and then again 8 to get the y value. So as far as the y value is concerned, it's a good idea to use 36. So the y value here will be, so the y value, let's say this y value, will be equal to 36 minus 8 and then again minus 8. That is minus 16, right? Which is 36 minus 16. So we get 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. 20, right? So the coordinates will be 22, 20. Does it make sense to you? So that is how we can actually get the solution. Correct? So the coordinates for C are 22, 20. Basically, from 38, 36, once we have found that 8 is the side of each square, we'll reduce 16, right? So the alternate method is from 38 and 36, we take away 16, right? We take away 16. And we get here 2 and 2, which is 22, and 0 and 2, which is 20. That is the answer. Is that clear to you? Let me show you this work. So basically from 38 and 36, we came down 8, 8, 16, 16, and we got our answer. So we'll write down our answer as coordinates for point C are 22, 20. Clear? So it is better to move backwards from point B to get point C. Clear? Let's move on and take the next question, which is question number 7. Question number 7, we are given a triangle T here. Now, let's see what we need to do with this triangle. Shape T is reflected in the line x equals to minus 1. Okay. So x equals to minus 1 is this line. So it is reflected on this side. Right. So let's read the question. Shape T is reflected on line x equals to minus 1 to give shape R, and shape R is reflected in the line y equals to minus 2. So the other line on which we are reflecting is this. To get S. Describe the single transformation that will map the shape T to shape S. So let's do the reflection and work it out. So the first part is reflecting this triangle on this line, which is x equals to minus 1. So we have 1, 2 units, we'll go 2 units, we get this point, and then 2 units there, and this is 3 units, so we get a triangle here. So from T, we got the triangle R. Now, triangle R is being reflected on the horizontal line, which is y equals to minus 2. So when you reflect this 1, 2, 3 units up, it will go 3 units down. So 1, 2, 3. And so you get a triangle here that becomes the base. Right, so let's just shift it a bit more. And that is the tip. So that is the triangle which you get. Now we need to describe, so this is your triangle S. Now how do you describe this with single transformation? So the question here is to describe the single transformation that will map T to S? Well, that's the question, right? So what you could do here is, so you have a coordinate point here, which is 2, 3. And here you have a coordinate point, which is -4 and -7. Correct? So how are they related? So definitely, we are seeing in this case, we do have 180 degrees, you can say counterclockwise rotation. Correct? So we do have counterclockwise rotation. Now to find about which point, to find the point which is about, we have to add and find the average value. So we'll do plus -4 divided by 2, and we'll do 3 plus -7 divided by 2, right? So that is about this point, right? That's that point. So 2 minus 4 is -2, divided by 2 is -1, and when you add this, you get -4 divided by 2 is -2, right? So that is the point. So the point in between will be -1, -2. So this is being rotated about the point, let's say P, which is marked here, correct? So the single transformation which actually describes is, we could say counterclockwise rotation of T by 180 degrees about P, which is -1, -2. Is that clear? Now it could be counterclockwise or even clockwise. Both will give you the same result. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to answer this. Perfect. Let's move on and take the next question, which is question number 8. It says the perimeter of a right angle triangle is 72 centimeters, right? So we have a right angle triangle whose perimeter is 72 centimeters. The length of its sides are in the ratio of 3:4:5, right? So we have, let's say, 3x, 4x, 5x. Work out the area of triangle. So first thing is the perimeter. So we know the perimeter is given to us is sum of all sides, correct? So perimeter 72 is equal to 3x plus 4x plus 5x. So 72 is equal to 9 plus 3, 12x. Or 72 divided by 12 is x, which is 6 times, right? So basically, each side is 6 times. So therefore, the sides are 6 times 3, 4, and 5, correct? So this is 6 times, which means 6 times 3 is 18, right? 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 5 is 30 centimeters. Is that clear? So the sides are 18 centimeters by 24 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Correct? So we get the sides of each, and now we can find the area equals to half of base times height, which is half of 18 times 24. Clear? So you could always simplify this, multiply, and get your answer. So we get times 12. So the area is 18 times 12, and you can write down your answer, right? So 12 times 8 is 96. So we get 6, and 12 plus 9. 12 plus 9 is 21. So we get that much centimeters square. So that was one way of doing it, right? Here is an alternate method. Now, we can actually find area of the triangle with sides 3, 4, and 5 in centimeters, right? So the area will be equals to half of 3 times 4, right? So the ratio, we can calculate this, which is 6, right? This goes 2 times. Area is 6. So area of a triangle with 6 times each side will be 6 times 6 square, right? So which is 6 times 36. And that will also give you 6 times 6 is 36, 3. 6 times 3 is 18 and 321 centimeters square. So you could do with similar triangles. So here we use the concept of similar triangles. Is that clear to you? But either way, we get the same answer, which is 216 centimeters squares already written, correct? So that is how you're going to answer this question. So I hope it is absolutely clear. Let's move on and take the next question, which is write down the value of 36 to the power of half. Basically, it is 36 square root, which is 6. So that is 6. Then we have to write down the value of 23 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So the answer is 1 here. And the last one is 27 to the power of minus 2 over 3. So that means 1 over 27 to the power of 2 over 3, right? So this negative will do the reflection. Now, we can actually find the cube root of this. So this basically means 1 over cube root of 27, and then we'll square each. Do you understand? That's what it is. Cube root of 27 is 3, so we can square this and get the answer as 1 over 9. So we get 1 over 9 here as our answer. So that one was simple. Let's move on and take the next question. Question number 10. I'd like you to pause the video, read the question, and then draw the box plot. Question 10 is, the table gives some information about the heights of 80 girls. So we have a total of 80 girls. Least height 133 centimeters, greatest is 170, lower quartile 145, upper is 157, median is 151. Draw a box plot to represent this information. Okay, so the least is what? 133. So this is 130 given to us. Let me push this a bit. Okay. So 133 means 3 units. 1, 2, 3. So we get a point here. That is the least. Greatest is 170. So that's the least. Okay. 170 is the greatest. So that is 170. Lower quartile is 145. So 145 is the lower quartile. Okay. Let me make a box here. 145. Then we have upper quartile of 157. So 3 less than 60. 1, 2, 3. So that is it. So with lower and upper quartile, we make the box. And these are the whiskers. Okay, and the median is 151. So 151 is the median. Is that clear to you? Right, so this is 151. Here we have 145. Here we have 133. And then we wrote 170. Correct? So we have done the first part. To draw it, that's it. You can write lower, you can write, right? This is Q1, this is Q1, Q2, Q3. This is lower bound, this is upper bound, okay? Okay. As per your nomenclature. So we have difference in this nomenclature. Okay. Part B is work out an estimate for the number of these girls with a height between 133 and 157. That means 157 up to here, right? So all the girls up to this. So that means quartile 3, right? So in this range, we have 75% girls. Correct? So 75% is 3 over 4 times. Total number is 80. So, right? So when we get 3 over 3 times 20, which is 60. So when you divide this, you get 20, correct? So 75% girls, and the total is, of 80, which is like this, correct? So that's your answer, which gives us 60 here. Let's move on and take the next question. Question number 11. So we have a circle here. A and B are the points on the circle with center O. BC is a tangent, so this is a tangent. So that means if I join O with B, then I have a 90 degrees here. BC is a tangent to the circle. AOC is a straight line. Angle ABO is x degrees. This angle is given to us as x degrees. Find the size of angle ACB. ACB, we need to find this angle in terms of x. Give your answer in the simplest form. Give reasons for each stage of your working. Okay. Now, so let's look into the triangle AOB. So triangle AOB is an isosceles triangle. Clear? Since we have radius, since AO equals to OB and both are equal to the radius, so we have isosceles triangle, correct? So if this is an isosceles triangle, in that case the angle OAB should be equal to the angle OBA, which is x. So this angle is also x for us, right? Okay. Now these two angles are x for us. Now we need to find that angle. Okay, this is a straight line. So angle AOB is going to be 180 degrees minus these two x's, right? Minus x minus x. This is because sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. Clear? So that gives us 180 minus 2x. So this angle here is 180 degrees minus 2x. So that means that the angle COB is equal to 180 degrees minus 180 degrees minus 2x, correct? This is a linear angle. So line makes 180 degrees, right? So that solves to 2x. So this angle here is 2x, correct? Now we know this is 2x. Therefore, the angle OCB should be equal to 180 degrees minus this 90 degrees minus 2x, correct? So that gives you 90 minus 2x. So angle OCB is 90 minus 2x. Give your reasons. We have given all the reasons. Find the size of angle ACB. So we can write down now our answer, which is angle ACB is equal to 90 degrees minus 2x. So that is how we are going to solve it. Correct?